Hi, my name is Dr. Jeannie Teachin, and I'm founder and director of the Institute for Trauma, Adversity, and Resilience in Higher Education at Mass Bay Community College. And I'm reaching out to invite you to join us at a virtual one-day live conference on April 26th on the subject of trauma and academic resilience. This conference represents a terrific opportunity to join an ongoing conversation with regards to trauma-informed, resilience, and equity-centered best practices in higher education. We'll begin the day grounded in the neurobiology of learning with Dr. Bessel van der Kolk delivering our keynote. Bessel van der Kolk is an internationally known research scholar and writer and clinician who has done some of the most important work with regards to trauma and is the author of The Body Keeps the Score, which is about the deeply embodied nature of trauma. So he'll be grounding us in the neurobiology of trauma and the learning brain. And we'll be closing the day with Dr. Terrell Strayhorn, who's a scholar working in the subject of belonging and how a sense of belonging correlates with academic resilience and success. And in between, for the vast majority of the day, we'll have opportunity to interact and to join conversations with trauma and resilience-informed practitioners from across the nation. Some of those folks will be talking about pedagogy and what trauma and resilience-informed pedagogy looks like in the classroom. Some folks will be talking about student services and what that looks like when it's trauma and resilience-informed and equity-centered. We'll also be looking at trauma-informed campus policing, trauma-informed desk chair design, and the history of trauma-informed practices in higher education with Dr. Janice Carello. While we are seeing an increase and an acceleration of trauma-informed practices in higher education, the conversation very often happens for very natural reasons in silos across the nation. This conference has committed itself to being able to create one site, one accessible site, where for one day folks can gather and be in conversation and create connections around the trauma and resilience-informed practices that are most impactful for their communities. Not only will folks have the opportunity to be able to take in the content from these presenters, but we hope that folks will take advantage of the opportunity to connect with one another, to be able to learn of new people who are asking themselves similar questions about how a better understanding of the real traumas and adversities that affect in an adverse way the learning process, that in that same way we can share names and strategies and connections for how to address the many ways in which small interventions every day empower us to really make changes in one another's lives. Community colleges in particular, we are our communities. We depend in our student body, in our faculty, staff, and administration, in our trustees, we depend on our communities to define our work and our priorities. We graduate from our institutions and live in the communities that have supported us. So any stakeholder in higher education has a place at this table. This is a conversation that is deeply human, deeply interpersonal, and teaching and learning at the end of the day is a human endeavor. And so I hope that you'll join us and bring the people in your community that you work with to join us for this one-day virtual live conference in which we are asking in this moment in time, what are the consequential factors that work against the kind of academic resilience and progress that we, all of us, students, faculty, administrators, staff, executive leadership, and all the stakeholders in higher education. that we, in this moment in time, identify what those factors are, and then grounded in the neurobiology of trauma, adversity, and yes, of resilience, that we look at and share tools for all the very many interventions that we can practice every day from every portal of our institutions to serve those same positive, progressive outcomes that create for a healthy individual, healthy families, and healthy, engaged communities. I hope you'll join us.